Welcome to the Earth Feels podcast.
I'm Rose.
And I'm Christine.
Welcome to Earth Feels, the podcast for people feeling overwhelmed by the endlessly gloomy climate news.
Where every week we have soul-based conversations about climate change and explore the idea that climate change may be happening for us as much as it is happening to us.
If you are ready to shift your focus and secure the future for our kids and our grandkids, then this is the podcast for you.
And yes, we do know how to spell.
Rose here with this week's question. Can we be satisfied with the luxury of enough? This past weekend, I had the privilege of spending Halloween with my best friend's children and her 3 beautiful granddaughters. My trip took me out of my own reality and back in time to a world filled to overflowing with neighborhoods of young families, of beautifully decorated yards, of silly children's laughter and screams of delight. But the weekend also took me to a world of overconsumption, to side-by-side McMansions with overstuffed garages that neither SUV could fit in, of bumper-to-bumper gas-guzzling combustion engines lined up at Chick-fil-A, and Amazon packages in piles on the doorstep. And as I walked the neighborhoods, breathing in the beauty of a clear, cloudless blue sky, accented by flame-colored leaves swirling to the ground, I was struck by how this world that we work so hard to perfect for our families is actually exactly what is destroying their chances of a future. You've heard me talk about the recent Yale poll that reported climate deniers now represent only 7% of our citizens. Good news, right? But the downside means that 93% of us know what is happening and know we are causing it. And this weekend brought home for me just how much we're up against. And I wondered why we're always chasing more. An October 11th article in The Guardian entitled, "The Advertising Industry is Fueling Climate Disaster and Getting Away with It," I'll include a link, opens with the line, "To confront the climate emergency, the amount we consume needs to drop dramatically. Yet every day, we're told to consume more." In fact, the average individual in the United States sees between 4,000 and 10,000 ads a day. It's everywhere. It's in social media. It's billboards, those annoying pop-ups on your computer screen. Even the premier stations that you pay for on the radio or the television are inundated with ads. When we attend baseball games at Fenway, we laugh about the fact that the Red Sox have the official Fenway Park Frank, the official glass of the Red Sox, the official insurance of the Red Sox, the official popcorn of the Red Sox. Ads insidiously remind our unconscious to buy into materialism. I experience it firsthand. You do too. Here in the United States, we actually live to shop, to acquire. We have walk-in closets to collect all the clothes that we never wear. The wealthy among us own multiple homes, all completely furnished. We actually rent storage units to house the crap that we cannot fit into our homes. In fact, it's a $39 billion industry to house stuff we own but don't really need access to. Think about that for a minute. If you Google the definition for enough, you get as much or as many as required. And if you ask for synonyms, you get sufficient, adequate and satisfactory. The implication being we are satiated. We're no longer hungry. So I'm waiting for the penny to drop. Our extraction model is killing the earth and all of her children. Our consumption model is killing humanity. The way we live is unsustainable. And in my heart and in my gut, I know this sense of never enough, the never-ending quest for bigger and more, is the very core of our psychological distress and addictions. In 2016, when I birthed Lyceum Live speaker series, I featured Laurie McCammon, the author of Enough: How to Liberate Yourself and Remake the World with Just One Word. I'll include links to her website and to the book. Laurie spoke eloquently about our central story, the never enough story, which is a story of scarcity, and how it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that keeps humanity locked in perpetual cycles of suffering for over 5,000 years. We are basically indoctrinated from cradle to grave to be consumers. You may have seen recently the stories about this being a dire Christmas because of the broken supply chain, and that there are ships sitting offshore in California with goods that need to be unloaded on docks where there are not enough workers to unload fast enough. And I'm going to go back to the premise of this podcast. What if climate change is happening for us and not just to us? What if we look at this holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever religion compels you to spend money on your loved ones to let them know how much you love them? What if we say no to that? What if we create things ourselves, food, buy from local artists, give gifts that create memories instead of stuff? My belief is that would fill our souls more. Do you remember what someone gave you for a holiday gift last year? Was it a sweater that you don't wear, a tie that, since you no longer go into the office, you have no use for? Perhaps it was something functional, and in that case, good on you. But for the most part, we get gifts we don't even want. And yet, if we didn't give a gift, how would that feel? If we didn't receive a gift, how would that feel? I'm going to my niece's bridal shower next weekend, and to her wedding a couple weeks after that. And I'm really struggling what to give this young couple. They've been together for years. They've lived together for years. They have a household already. They have a gift registry that, quite frankly, seems frivolous. And I'm struggling. The climate activist in me saying, they really don't need more stuff. So I'm looking at handing down some mementos of my mother, my niece's grandmother that she never knew, her cookbooks, or a silver tray, a tea set, things that have meaning. And yet, I'm pretty sure my relatives will look at that and think that I'm being a cheapskate. So again, I struggle with it. When do we get to the point where we're grateful for what we have? It's that Sheryl Crow song. It's not getting what you want. It's wanting what you've got. What does it take to make us see the abundance in our lives comes from our health and our relationships and the beauty that surrounds us? Can we live the luxury of enough? I'd love to hear your comments. In good news this week, COP26 is making some progress. We have had commitment to stop deforestation. We have had 20 countries commit to no longer funding fossil fuel exploration abroad. Of course, that doesn't say anything about the fossil fuel investments domestically. We are inching forward. And I think, again, what we focus on expands. Try to focus on the good that's being created. It does seem like it's a beginning. Action step, take a look at what you already have. How much of it do you really use? Can you share? Can you follow Marie Kondo's advice and get rid of the things that don't give you joy? And can you leave that space open and not replace it with more things? And as a sanity tip, breathe. Just breathe. Stand out in your yard. Stand out somewhere in nature and look at the colors of the changing leaves. Revel in the clear blue skies. Observe the birds flying south for winter. See the squirrels packing away their nuts in the ground. Observe. Observe nature and listen to what lessons she is trying to tell us. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time.
That's this week's episode of Earth Feels. Special thanks to singer-songwriter Kristen Hoffman for generously allowing us to use Song for the Ocean. Thanks for listening.
Don't forget, subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss an episode. Catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Children of the earth, I'm calling out. There's a mission for you and for me.